She opened a jollof rice store at the edge of the market. No one recognized her, but the smell of her jollof rice filled the air. It was not just jollof rice, but Ada's jollof rice. Everyone in the village wanted it. Once it's morning, people are already rushing to the market, forming a long queue in front of Ada's small store. I came first. No, I was here before you. That's all you hear the villagers scream for Ada's jollof rice. Women argue. Children push each other just to get a plate. Ada's jollof rice was just with a difference. The taste was like magic, so addictive and delicious. You cannot get enough of it. Soon, words reached the palace. The king himself summoned Ada. Nervous and but proud, she arrived with her pot and ingredients. The king took one bite and closed his eyes. "Bring me another bowl," he ordered. By the fifth bowl, he declared, "Ada shall be the royal jollof rice cook." He offered her a golden pot, a store in front of the palace, and a guard to protect her secret recipe. The king himself had ordered that they get Ada's jollof rice for him every day. More of it, he would command his guards, and without uttering a word, they would rush to get Ada's jollof rice. A girl was caught stealing money from her mother's purse. "Nenna, what are you doing?" her mother asked. "Mama, I just want jollof rice. Not just any other, but Ada's jollof rice. She will never run out of ingredients, no matter how much she cooks." But only Ada knew the truth. The key ingredient was the sacred maggots from the dead. She treated it with deep respect, praying before each preparation. The night was dark, quiet, and scary. Everyone was asleep, but not Ada. She moved to the mortuary quietly, following a narrow path, holding a small bag. She looked, making sure no one was there, watching her. Heading towards a place no villagers dare to go at night, the mortuary. Ada stepped carefully into the cold, dark building. The air was thick with the smell of dead bodies. She moved past rows of dead bodies, her face calm as if she had done this countless times. She stood before a fresh corpse. Slowly, she reached into her pocket and brought out a small bag. Fetched maggot from the body of a man who had died days back. She smiled as she poured the maggot into her bag. "This is the secret behind my delicious jollof rice," she whispered. This is what made her food different. Maggots from dead bodies. She needed them. She craved for them, and the villagers ate without knowing. When the villagers are asleep, she prepares her delicious jollof rice, because what the villagers did not know was that her jollof rice was not ordinary. By sunrise, everyone was already awake, waiting for Ada's jollof rice. The queue was longer. They shouted, "Ada, hurry up! Ada, I need 5 plates today." The king's guard was already standing holding a royal plate. "The king wants more rice today." Ada smiled. "Don't worry, there is enough for everyone." She uncovered her pot. Immediately, the delicious aroma filled the air. People were happy and relieved. She dished for everyone, watching as they ate the food without knowing the secret of what they are eating. First scoop, their faces changed. Their eyes filled with satisfaction. They chewed slowly. Their minds sank into the spell of Ada's jollof rice. But what nobody knew was this. Each bite was gradually changing them. They screamed, "Ada's jollof rice is the best." made with 10 strange depths of flavor. Spicy, smoky, her jollof rice drew crowds. Children, women, hunters, farmers, even palace guards flocked her jollof rice small store. The entire village was under her spell. The new king, young Amadi, would send gold daily for Ada's jollof rice. But no one knew her secrets. Ada's obsession with jollof rice was so legendary that even the village chief once joked, if Ada ever disappears, just follow the smell of the season. The aroma alone caused traffic in the village. People follow the scent like bees to honey. The village town crier tasted it. He said, "Ha! What is this?" He shouted. "Just jollof rice?" Ada said with a sly grin. He ate 3 plates. Words spread like wildfire. By the next day, Ada's store had the longest line. Hunters, palm wine tappers, and even children came for a taste. Children would cry if their mother passed by without buying a plate. They started stealing from their parents' purse just to have a plate of Ada's jollof rice. Travelers from other kingdoms came to taste the legendary jollof rice. Some said her food healed heartbreak, others said it revealed vision, but all agreed they had never tasted any food like this. Strange things happened in the village. Wives no longer obeyed their husbands. Husbands beat up their wives on slight provocation. Every night, Ada crept into the mortuary collecting maggots from dead bodies. With it, she cooked her delicious jollof rice. Jollof rice that is tagged, tasty meal you can't resist. A drop for each soul that left the world unfairly. She was not poisoning them. She was making them taste grief, what she lived through. One day, an old mortuary worker exposed her. The village was horrified. Ada was dragged to the palace. The young king, son of the former, stared at her in disbelief. "Why would you do such?" the king asked, torn between anger and confusion. Ada was asked to speak. She stood before them, proud, tears in her eyes, and she spoke. "I am Ada, from the ancient village of Umoja, from a family, just my loving mother, father, a poor and honest yam farmer, and myself. We had little, but love filled our home like warm smoke, until everything was stolen in a day. The queen, proud and cruel, had laid eyes on my father. She summoned him secretly, desiring him as a lover. But he refused, pleaded that he cannot do such, choosing dignity over desire. Furious and humiliated, the queen plotted revenge. She conspired with a palace guard and accused my father of stealing yam from the royal farm. The law was clear. Whoever steals in the village shall be burnt alive. No trial, no mercy. The king, then old and arrogant, gave the order without questioning. I watched, trembling, as my father was dragged to the village square. He begged, he screamed, but the people cheered. No one believed him. He was tied to a stake and set ablaze. At the sight of my father in flame, my mother clutched her chest and collapsed. She died of a heart attack on the spot. Her last breath was a scream for justice. At just 12, I, Ada, was left with nothing. No family. But that wasn't the end. It was the beginning. The villagers, superstitious and cruel, began to whisper that my father was cursed. They said my father's fire brought shame to the soil. I, Ada, became an outcast. No one fed me. No one sheltered me. Children threw stones at me. Adults turned their backs. Heartbroken and cold, I left Umoja, wandering far away to a land no one knew. Years passed. I returned, no longer the weak, no longer the trembling girl, grown into a woman of silence and fire, with eyes that heard storms, daughter of the man you burnt alive, daughter of the woman who died from the heartbreak, watching the husband burnt alive, the girl you left to starve and without shelter, the girl your children threw stones at, the girl all the villagers turned their backs at. You ate my tears with pleasure. I vowed that one day you would all taste what I tasted, the flavor of loss. Silence fell upon the court. The queen was brought to confess. The queen, now old and sickly, was forced to confess everything: the lies, the lust, the mother. The king was shaking. I did not know. I was just a boy. He knelt before her in front of the whole village. Ada, we wronged you. My father, my mother, everyone, please forgive us. The villagers wept, some fell to their knees, and Ada, standing tall, let her tears fall at last like raindrops. The queen was banished, her name erased from royal scrolls. According to tradition, whoever accused someone forcefully that leads to death will be sent on exile. The king offered Ada a place in the palace as a royal cook. But he offered something else. He said to Ada, I have loved your food and your fire. Will you be my queen? He asked. Ada hesitated, but in her heart, she knew that her father would have wanted her to heal, not burnt. She accepted. The king, who had long admired not just her cooking, but her strength, took Ada as his wife, not out of pity, but honor. You turned your pain into a dish that fed the same hands that hurt you, he said. You are fire and forgiveness. You are my queen and the queen of the entire Umoja kingdom. She became Ada, the queen, not just the jollof rice seller, but a legend in her own right. And so, Ada the jollof rice seller became the queen of the entire Umoja kingdom. Morals. Revenge may come from pain, but justice must rise from truth. And sometimes, healing comes not by forgetting, but by remembering loudly enough that no one dares to repeat the past.